Your cat drinks almost no water. You've seen it. You've probably just assumed she's not thirsty. She's not thirsty. She's broken, not visibly, not dramatically. But inside, every single day, her body is running on less water than it needs, and the food you're giving her is why. I switched my cat to wet food 6 months ago. Three things changed that I did not expect. One of them probably saved her kidneys. And there is one mistake that even careful owners make with wet food that can quietly make things worse, not better. Stay until the end, because that part matters most. Quick question before we go further. Does your cat ever drink from the tap, or knock over a glass just to lick the rim? That's not a cute quirk, that's desperation. Her body is looking for water anywhere it can find it, because her food has almost none. 1. Her body finally gets the water it was built for. Cats evolved as desert hunters. Their ancestors got almost all their hydration from the prey they caught. A mouse is about 70% water. Dry kibble is around 10%. That is not a small difference. That is the difference between a biscuit and a mouse. Let me tell you what happens when this goes wrong. It's usually a male cat. He seems fine on Monday. By Wednesday night, he's crouching in the litter box, not producing anything, crying. That's a urinary blockage. And it almost always starts here, in the food bowl, months or years earlier, because concentrated urine forms crystals. Crystals become blockages. Blockages become emergency surgery. Researchers confirmed cats fed wet food produce significantly more diluted urine. That one shift in chemistry is the difference between a cat who makes it to 15 and one who doesn't. When you switch, the system resets. The kidneys relax. The urinary tract works the way it was designed to. Everything else on this list starts from here. 2. Her weight changes, even if you're feeding the same amount. Think about what happens when you eat a bag of chips for dinner. You're not full. You know you should stop. You don't stop. That's what dry kibble does to your cat's brain. Dry kibble can be 40% carbohydrates. Your cat has almost no biological system to process carbohydrates. She is an obligate carnivore. Her liver cannot even convert plant proteins into what she needs. So what does her body do with all those carbs? The same thing yours does when you eat too much sugar. It stores them. Now think about a proper meal. Protein, fat, real food. You eat, you stop. You don't think about food for hours. That's wet food for a cat. Researchers at the Waltham Center found cats fed wet food stayed leaner even when allowed to eat as much as they wanted. Not because they had more willpower, because their bodies finally got what they were asking for. Here's a fact that changes how you see your cat's behavior. Cats are hardwired to hide weakness. In the wild, a sick cat gets eaten. So everything she shows you, the begging, the pacing, the 4 a.m. wake-ups, that's not drama. That's her body screaming in the only language she has. 3. The way she behaves around food shifts. You know this pattern. You stand up from the couch and she's already in the kitchen before you've taken 3 steps. She inhales her food, looks up immediately for more, starts pacing 20 minutes later, wakes you at 4 in the morning asking for something. Most owners read this as personality. It is not personality. Dry kibble digests quickly. The high carbohydrate content doesn't send a strong satiety signal to the brain. Her body processes the meal and tells her it's gone within hours. A study in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that cats fed high-protein diets showed significantly reduced food-seeking behavior between meals. When wet food replaces kibble, the pattern starts to break. She eats. She walks away. She does not come back screaming. Mealtimes go from something you dread to something quiet. Stop and look at your cat right now. Run your hand down her back. Is the fur dull? Does it feel dry or rough? Most people think that's just how their cat is. It's not how their cat is. It's what their cat is eating. 4. Her coat changes before anything else does. The fur tells you what is happening inside before any other sign appears. Dull coat, excessive shedding, dry flaky skin. These are not grooming problems, they are signals. Skin and fur depend on animal-based protein and fat, the building blocks that wet food delivers directly. Dry kibble goes through intense processing before it reaches your cat's bowl. Much of what the coat needs is broken down before it ever gets there. Research published in the Journal of Nutritional Science found that cats on high-protein, moisture-rich diets showed measurably improved coat quality and skin health. Most owners notice the change within a few weeks of switching. The fur softens, the shedding slows. That dry or dusty texture starts to disappear. It is one of the first visible signs that something deeper is improving. Everything I just told you is real. Better hydration, leaner body, quieter mornings, a coat you can see improving. All of it is true. And there is still one way wet food makes your cat sicker than dry kibble did. Most owners make this mistake without realizing. Here's what it is. 5. There is one thing that can quietly backfire. Here's what no one tells you when they say, switch to wet food. Your cat walks up to the bowl, sniffs it, walks away. You think she's being picky. She's not being picky. She's telling you the food has turned. Wet food goes bad fast. 2 hours at room temperature. That's your window. After that, bacteria are already multiplying. You can't see it, you can't smell it, but her nose can. And her body pays the price if she eats it anyway. The rule is simple. 2 hours out, it goes in the bin. Leftover from the can, straight into the fridge. Use within 48 hours. One more thing most people miss. Cold, wet food straight from the fridge? Your cat doesn't want it. In nature, food is warm, fresh, close to body temperature, something that feels recently alive. 10 seconds in the microwave, a splash of warm water. That's all it takes. Get this wrong and wet food causes more harm than dry kibble did. Get it right and everything else in this video starts to work. Your cat was never designed to live on dry food. Wet food is not an upgrade. It is a correction. And once you see the difference, you can't unsee it. Tell me in the comments, what changed first for your cat? The behavior, the coat, or those quiet mornings without being woken up? Because someone reading this right now is about to make the switch, and your answer might be exactly what they needed.